Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I'm really pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey with us. In the world of luxury hospitality, things are changing faster than ever. What used to guarantee a five-star review is now, well, it's just the price of entry. In this explainer, we're going to break down the new psychology of the luxury guest and give you the playbook for success in 2026 and beyond. Okay, let's dive right into the deep end. The entire landscape of luxury hospitality is going through this massive shift. You see, we've moved past what we used to call the experience economy. We're now living in the transformation economy. And here's the critical difference. Guests aren't just paying for a memorable stay anymore. They're investing in an experience that they truly expect will change them for the better. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to break down this new playbook piece by piece. First, we'll dig into that transformation economy shift. Then we'll talk about why emotion is everything now. We'll cover the new rules of status, the absolute bedrock of trust, and finally, how you can shift your own role from a service provider to a true story curator. Right, so let's start with this foundational shift, because everything else we talk about today is built on this. The motivation of today's luxury guest has completely evolved. Seriously, it's just not enough to provide a good time anymore. The new expectation, it's about personal growth, about creating meaningful, lasting change in their lives. And this line just nails it, doesn't it? This is the new metric for success. Forget about simply chasing those positive reviews online. The real measure of a world-class luxury experience is the lasting, positive impact it has on a guest's life, on their well-being, on their perspective, long after they've checked out. So that leads us right into our second rule. You see how this builds? If guests are actually seeking transformation, well, then you can't sell to them based on a checklist of features. It just doesn't work. Luxury purchases are not rational decisions. They are deeply emotional ones. We have to learn to speak the language of feelings. And look, this isn't just a fluffy idea. This slide shows you the hard data behind it. A staggering 80% of buying decisions in the luxury space are powered by emotion. Just let that sink in for a minute. This single statistic should fundamentally change how you approach every single guest interaction. It's not about the thread count in the sheets. It's about the feeling they get when they slip into them. This slide breaks it down perfectly. Everything on the left, the functional stuff, that's just the ticket to the game now. It's expected, it's not celebrated. The real driver, the reason a guest chooses you and pays a premium price, is the luxury value on the right. It's all about how your property makes them feel and how it fits into the story they tell themselves about their own life. So, you might be asking, how do we actually deliver that emotional fulfillment? Well, it really rests on these three pillars. First, does your hotel act as a canvas for the guest to express their own identity? Second, does it indulge their senses on a really deep level? And third, does it give them that feeling of rarity, that sense that they're accessing something special, something not everyone gets? These are the triggers that justify a premium price point. And this idea of rarity leads us straight into our third section, the new rules of status. Because the way the ultra-wealthy signal their standing in the world, it has completely flipped. The era of loud, flashy, look-at-me displays is pretty much over. We are now deep in the age of quiet luxury. This quote just perfectly captures the new mindset, right? So why is that? It's because prestige is no longer about broadcasting your wealth to absolutely everyone. Nope. It's about these discreet, subtle signals that are only understood by a select few. It's all about being in the know. And this table just lays out that evolution so clearly. We've moved from these really obvious signals like big logos meant for the general public to quiet signals like incredible craftsmanship and beautiful materials that are really only intended for an audience of informed peers. The goal isn't just to show off wealth anymore. It's to express taste and knowledge. The hotel has kind of become a secret handshake. Okay, let's move on to our fourth section. And honestly, this is arguably the most important of all, the psychology of trust. We have to remember, we're selling an intangible promise, and trust is the only thing that makes that promise feel real to a guest before they even arrive. Just think about that phrase for a second, a future memory. That's literally what you are selling. The guest can't touch it, they can't test drive it before they buy it. So the crucial point here is that your entire sales process has to be engineered to build this unshakable bridge of trust between what you promise and what you are ultimately going to deliver. And what's really fascinating is how our brains are wired. Neuroscientists have actually shown that the period of anticipation, that time between booking and arriving, is often where we get the most pleasure. It's called the dopamine of anticipation. And it's a huge opportunity for us to build that positive emotional investment and reinforce trust before the guest even steps foot through the door. So how do we actually actively build that trust? Well, hyper-personalization is the key. But listen, it's not just a perk, it's a powerful psychological tool. When you analyze a guest's needs and you deliver a moment that feels truly, genuinely meant for them, you are sending a very clear signal. You're saying, we see you, we understand you, and that signal neutralizes their biggest fear, the fear of disappointment. And we have to remember this psychological principle called the peak end rule. It's so important. You see, guests don't average out their experience. They judge their entire stay based on its most intense moment, that's the peak, and how it concludes, that's the end. This means every single interaction is critical, because any one of them could become the single moment that defines the entire memory of their stay. Okay, so this brings all of these ideas together in our final section, and it's all about a fundamental shift in your professional identity. You need to stop thinking of yourself as just a service provider. Your new role is to be a lifestyle curator for your guests. And this is the curator's code. What does that mean? Well, it's about respecting the guest's intelligence and their need for control. It's about using your cultural intelligence to decode what they truly need, not just what they say they want. It's about knowing that flawless operational excellence is your single best sales tool. And finally, it's about framing value not as being exclusive to keep people out, but through an exclusivity of relevance, making an experience so perfectly tailored, it feels like it could only have been created for them. At the end of the day, this is the goal. This is the whole purpose. Your role has to transcend the transactional. You are providing the backdrop, the setting for a meaningful chapter in the story of your guest's life. That is the true definition of modern luxury. So, I'll leave you with this question to reflect on. As you move forward in your careers, I want you to constantly ask yourselves this. Are you focused on selling a product, just a place to sleep? Or are you focused on curating an experience, a truly meaningful chapter in your guest's life story? Because the answer to that question will define your success.